Hey, it's Jack, and this video is called How to Trust Yourself More. Hey, welcome to my channel. I'm Jack Butler. If you're new here or you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, I'd love to invite you to do so. You can just hit the subscribe button and then tap the bell notification so you hear of new videos as soon as they come out. I release at least 2 new videos every week on relationships and personal growth, and this is a fantastic community to be part of. So hit subscribe, tap the bell notification, and you'll hear of all the new videos as soon as they come out. And just another invitation, if you haven't tested our free trial, we have a $1 trial for our Becoming the One community. This is where me and my teaching partner Clayton Olson, who's a big YouTuber, we answer your questions and give you support week in, week out. And we also give you the Becoming the One curriculum, which is a curriculum that helps you be your true self in dating and relationships. So if any or all of that is of interest, just click the first link beneath this video and check out the page. And it's just $1 to try it out for 14 days. It's really good value. I think you should check it out. All right, so let's get into today's video. How to trust yourself more. I'm going to give you 3 strategies for trusting yourself more. Let's get into it. So the first strategy is learning how to ground. Learning how to ground. So let me unpack this for you. Most of us, when we are not trusting, right, which means to say that we are in some pattern of doubt or fear, most of the time it means that we're up here in our heads. Right? In other language, we have what's called a closed or reactive head center, which means our head is starting to spin out, overthink, overanalyze, hesitate, doubt, think of problems, create problems, think of problems that it can't be solved intellectually, just serve us up a kind of menu of fear and doubt generally. Right? So anytime that's happening, the most simple thing that you can do is notice, can I ground myself more? Right? And can I ground myself means, can I connect to the earth? Right? Can I make sure that my feet are on the ground? Literally. Right? So this might be just noticing the weight of your body, noticing your feet on the floor, whether you're standing or sitting. Going somewhere that is more grounding for you, right? For a lot of us, that might be like where I am now, getting out into nature, right? Where we can reduce the stimuli, we can reduce the energetic impact of other people, we can really tune into our own system, our own energy field, and our own intuition. Other things that you can do to ground, anything that really helps get you in your body. Exercise, taking a shower or a bath, stretching, walking, jogging, yoga, dancing, or just breathing a little bit more deeply. So strategy 1 for trusting yourself more is effectively reducing the ways that you are untrustworthy, the ways that you spin out, and the ways that fear and doubt cloud your perception and experience, versus being more grounded and embodied. Have you ever heard people talk about embodiment and grounding, and that doesn't mean much to you, I just want to invite you into the inquiry of understanding more of what that is. I think it will be useful to you. I think it's going to be worthy of your exploration. Okay, the second strategy for trusting yourself more is to turn things over to life. Turn things over to life, turn things over to God, whatever you think of as kind of the bigger part of the picture here. I'll give you a good example of this. You might have had instances where there's a decision, right? Maybe it's a decision to stay in a relationship. Maybe it's a decision to get into a relationship. Maybe it's a decision to change career or stay in a career, or buy a house or not buy a house, or even just go on a particular holiday or not, or during COVID, stay somewhere or move somewhere. Right? We're often faced with lots of consequential decisions, and also day to day we're faced with lots of smaller decisions that can sometimes feel as big and as worrisome in our nervous systems. So turning it over sometimes means, okay, I'm going to show up for the decision, right? I'm going to care about it. I'm going to give it some space. I'm going to meditate on it. If I'm prayerful, I might pray about it. If I'm not that sort of person, I might just go for a stroll on the beach, or a walk down the road, or something that just kind of lets it wash over me, lets me get attuned to it. And then at a certain point, right, and you might do that days, you might do that weeks, you might do it months for big decisions, but at a certain point, if it's still not clear to you and you've showed it up, it's almost like you could toss a coin, right? Because you're like, okay, life, I've really shown up for this and you haven't made it clear to me. Like, I've really prayed on it, I've meditated, I've got some reflection, I've got quiet with myself, I've hit my journal, I've strolled along the beach, all those things, or the equivalents in your life. Like, I've shown up for the decision and it still isn't really clear to me. And so sometimes in those decisions, it's almost like, okay, well, I showed up, that was good enough, right? I used to play a lot of sport. In sport, you often talk about giving it your best shot, right? Showing up with all your intention and effort, playing your heart out. Sometimes you win and sometimes you lose. And so with decisions, sometimes you make better decisions, sometimes you make worse decisions. Some decisions are kind of 50-50. If life hasn't really made it clear for you, yeah, I don't know whether to turn left or right. But if I've really shown up and it's not clear, that's okay. Right? So part of trusting yourself more is trusting when you have shown up for something, trusting your effort and intention, noticing that, not letting your inner critic run riot with you and telling you, oh, well, you should have known better, you should have known this decision. To put it in a more inner work context, when we're faced with difficult decisions, a lot of what we actually fear is loss of our own guidance. Right? This sort of sense that things are kind of random, that, oh my God, I could go left or right. Could it be my sliding doors moment, right? Could my life be completely different? That's a good movie. My experience in life is that it's not quite so much like that. That at a deeper development level, or what some people might call a soul level, there are things that we are here to experience and learn. And sometimes you can go many ways up that mountain, right? And if that lesson is yours to learn, it will keep finding you. Right? It will keep finding you through different opportunities, different clothing, different people. So sometimes you can just take a step back and be like, oh, the deepest arc of my life, right? Whether it's about learning to love, learning to let go, learning to be more courageous, learning to forgive, learning to grieve, right? The sort of deepest arc of our life, we normally can't escape, right? Because it's sort of, however you think of it, it's kind of what we came here to do, or it's the deepest essence of who we are, or it's our deepest struggle, or our deepest revelation. So from that perspective, yeah, okay, this job opportunity, maybe you pass it up. But if you're really meant to be in this particular expression, that expression will keep knocking on your door, right? So this is a little bit more of a trusting orientation that for the deepest things in your life, you can't really miss out. You could maybe just learn them in a different way, or learn them at a different time and a different season. So that has often helped me trust. That it's like, okay, yeah, sometimes I'm going to make better or worse decisions. Sometimes I'm going to make bad decisions and I'm going to have to make amends, or I'm going to have to work hard to repair, or I'm going to have to apologize, or any or all of the above. And for those biggest things, yeah, life has my back, because it's rearranging the furniture of my life, the circumstances, the environments, the people, the situations, so that I can continue to learn particular things. So if you've shown up for a decision, back yourself. That's good enough. And then the third thing you can do is become a student of your own patterns of contraction and expansion. And so what I mean by that is, for most of us, and this is fine, I hope you can still hear me, got a bit of wind here. Let me show you actually where I am, because it's not obvious. I'm sat in the middle of, this is La Platte. This is a bit of a neat stepping stone river. That when you become a student of your own patterns, for a lot of us, when we are doubtful and fearful and anxious, we're more contracted, right? Our nervous systems are tight. We are fearful. I can even get a little sense of that as I kind of contract my body a little bit here. And that when we're trusting, there's a little bit more openness, what some people might call expansion, just ease, relaxation. Notice what's true for you. I'm not saying this is true for you, but for a lot of us it is. And I'm more interested in your own inquiry into what is true for you in this territory. So can you start to notice, oh yeah, there may be some problems in my life, and I'm in a pattern of doubt and fear, and that is making it worse, right? Like, that's actually what's kind of keeping me up, is part of my orientation to my problems, right? Life is problems. We're always going to have problems all the way, right? Big problems, small problems, recurring problems, chronic problems, acute problems. That's a part of life, I think, for most of us. What's hard is when something is really on your mind, because it's picking up on your tendency to doubt. And again, not coming from judgment. I'm right here with you. This is my pattern. I know it well. But if I spin out in doubt, now it's like okay, so even when I'm eating, I'm actually worrying about something. Even when I'm going for a walk, I'm worrying about something. Even when I'm hanging out with a friend, I'm worrying about something. It's like it's kind of got me. And again, back to step number 2, if I'm showing up and doing my presence and showing care for a decision, that's kind of as good as I can do at some level, right? I don't have to be a perfectionist and kind of grind down on myself and have to think about something 16 hours a day in order to prove that I care or I'm showing up. It's like, no, that's a bit of a ridiculous standard. The standard is, can I show enough care? Can I show enough presence? And if I'm doing that, then I maybe notice, oh, okay, this actually isn't the decision that is creating this. This is my pattern of doubt and fear, right? Just like, there's things we don't like to do in life, right? For some of us, we don't like to go and sit in the dentist chair, right? But there's the physical experience of being in the dentist chair and the drill and the, stark lighting and the water that they shoot into your mouth and the spitting it out in the cup and the scraping the plaque off, whether you see the hygienist. It's all that good stuff, right? Uncomfortable physical sensations, unusual physical sensations. For me, often I kind of struggle a bit to breathe in some of those instances, so I'm gulping a lot. It's not my favorite experience. But that is actually different than a lot of the doubt and fear that get in my mind if I'm kind of thinking about that and I'm getting myself worked up about it. That's often the stuff that's most contracting. So I'm inviting you, anytime you notice that that's happening, to see if you can just slow down and tune in and get curious. Maybe it's not just the problem that's the big deal right now. Maybe it's the secondary thing, which is actually what's happening in my experience and how I'm orienting to it and how I'm perhaps looping and I'm spinning out and I'm getting less and less grounded and I'm getting more and more up in my head, right? And then that's where we go back to step number 1 and we notice, okay, so my job actually is to ground, step 1, and 2, get quiet, meditate, pray, care, put some attention on the thing. That's kind of all I can do in most situations in life. This is a little bit like the Serenity Prayer, right? When the Serenity Prayer is all about the discernment and the courage to notice the things you can change and the things that you can't. Right? Now, sometimes that's black and white. Sometimes that's incredibly gray, right? You'll know if you're working on a work project that there's kind of always more that you can do. Right? There's always another edit, there's always another draft, there's always another input, there's always another idea, right? So it's hard to know where sufficiency is in life. I know personally that just sometimes having good enough is good enough, kind of lets me put something down, right? So if you've had a good enough amount of time thinking about something, feeling into it, being with it, that maybe that's good enough, and we have what's we generally call diminishing returns on the time and energy that you're continuing to worry, certainly about a decision, right? Worry generally doesn't help. Doubt generally doesn't help. Now, I'm using this word doubt. I just want to double click on this for a second because fear and anxiety, when we're really afraid of something and maybe we're shocked in our nervous systems or it's like we're running away from something, that's kind of a bit more obvious. Doubt is a little bit more subtle. Doubt is a bit more conniving as a sort of a spiritual malady, or a structure of unpresence, something that takes us from presence. Because doubt can be cynical, it can be skeptical. Doubt can be like, just an affect tone. I doubt it's going to work out. I doubt I'll be good enough. I doubt they'll want to take that date with me. It's a little bit more sneaky, right? And you may not have distinguished doubt as actually something for you to work on. Right? For a lot of us, doubt can seem smart. If I doubt people, or if I doubt the structure of this contract, or if I doubt that anyone has my best intentions at heart, I can orient to the world as a kind of a realist and a skeptic, and oftentimes that keeps me safe. And then when other people aren't like that and they hit problems, I say, see, you should have been more skeptical. So some level of reality, it's useful. And then another level of reality, we realize that we've maybe chucked the baby out with the bathwater because now our dominant orientation to life is doubt and skepticism. And while it keeps us safe at one level, it never keeps us in the safety of presence, right? There's a kind of safety that most of us experience when we're fully present because our guidance is online, our truer nature is online, our essence can talk to us. It's kind of like a deeper conversation with ourselves. Whereas if I'm always just doubting things and probing them and pushing them and questioning them, it's like that is my habitual experience of reality, right? The questioning mind is my habitual experience of reality, not open mind or relaxed mind or grounded beingness in my body, and sort of suffusing my life with presence. So Those are three things that you can look at if you want to experience more trust in your life. And the reason that this is so important is because it comes up so much in every area of life, including in dating and relationships, right? If you want a place where most of us are going to experience some doubt, try being in a relationship, or try going on a number of dates and being curious about where things might unfold. But at times you're probably going to doubt it. So instead of trying to always rearrange the external, right, and thinking, oh, when I have this perfect thing in this perfect time, in this perfect season, the perfect partner, the perfect love, the perfect adventure, that's probably not happening or true for most of us. What's more true is when I actually get better at trusting myself, I can make the right discernments for me. That might be going on another date, or that might be saying, thank you very much, this isn't for me. But it's coming from my own guidance to myself, a deeper place of contact in myself. So if any of all of this is of interest, you want to dive into this more, again, click that link beneath this video. Join us in the Becoming the One community. We've still got the $1 trial up at the moment. It's incredible value for 2 weeks. You get private live stream with one of us. You get the first week 0 and week 1 module of content. You get a bonus ebook called The 4 Pillars of Conscious Relationship, which is, you know, as part of a course that we've done. This would be at least $497, and sometimes people say, hey, the ebook was worth the investment alone. So you get that for $1. There's a lot in there. So click that link, and please like this video if you haven't, and subscribe to my channel. I look forward to seeing you on future videos. I'm Jack, as always. Thanks for being here.